Have you ever wanted to make a feature film but just didn't know where to get started? And when making said feature film, have you ever thought about, how's this thing gonna make money? Well, today we're gonna answer all those questions. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? The Coven Ringans here. Marcus Brown, as always. And we're going to talk about the one thing that you have to do even before you write your film so that you can be successful. What's that one thing we're talking about today? Today, we're talking about your audience. Your audience is the most important thing to your film. Mm-hmm. Why? Because without your audience, who's going to watch your film? Exactly. They are paramount to having anything happen with your film. Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about being successful. To me, your audience is the thing that's gonna gauge your success, right? Like, we wanna do this as a career. We wanna make movies for a living. We don't wanna just do it as a hobby. If you're a hobbyist, enjoy it. But we wanna actually make money off these films. And the first thing that you can do to do that is find people who want to watch the thing you are making. Definitely. So your audience is the ones that push your films, promote your films, the ones who talk about your films on the podcast or on YouTube or Facebook. And so they're free promotion. So it's important to make films that you know is going to appeal to your audience. And when we talk about distribution in another episode, you're going to see the people who watch it are going to either make or break it. And that is across the board. Most films are like that. Even when you talk about Hollywood films, that first weekend does really good, but everybody starts talking bad about it, then it goes down. It's about the audience. And so when we're looking at the audience, how do I know it's a good audience for me? Well, I mean, it just depends on what you're passionate about, but also not diving too much into your passion project where the only person passionate about is you. You want to find that audience, because remember, when we put films out, we don't pay attention to what the critics say. When you go to Rotten Tomatoes, you're not looking for what did the critics say. We're looking at that audience score. Yeah. Because the audience is the one, people who paid to go see your movie, and they're going to give their honest opinion. So it's important that you're appealing to an audience that you know is going to make said film. So write a movie based on what you're passionate about, but also that has an audience, like myself. I'm into wrestling. I'm into the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can go all day about those two subjects. History, my knowledge is, I'm just a library for both of those things. So I should make a film based on one of those two things because there's audiences built in for those two subjects. Yeah, so when you're diving into understanding what audience you should address, write what you know. Go check out our book, link down below, the 4-month feature. Grab the timeline as well. It's going to help you make features faster. But one of the things that we say is, write what you know. Because the things that you know about, like you mentioned, wrestling or the Steelers, you know them. And because you know them, that means you can, like you said, go all day about it, which means you have an easier time writing a story around either one of those because you know the lingo. You told me a little bit, baby face and heel and all that stuff. Like, I'm not a big wrestling fan. I don't, but he does. And so does the people that he talks to on a regular basis, which leads me into our next thing. How do you find your audience? Now, there are plenty of forums online. You can go to all kinds of online forums and be a part of all kinds of online groups on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever other social media platforms that we don't even use or know about that's out there. You can go get into so many different groups and forums, Reddit, and talk to people. You can talk to them specifically about your project and idea for the thing that you all are passionate about. You can get ideas from them.
Yep. And you can ask questions about what would be interesting to see in a movie about this thing.
Exactly.
Because whenever you listen to reviews from fans, it's like, oh, that was great. But when I read the book, if this would have been there, that would have been in there, it would have really been amazing. So if you're in these forums and you're saying, if I'm going to make a movie, because you know you're a Cowboys fan, I'm a Steelers fan. So I'm going to talk about the last Super Bowl where the Cowboys unfortunately won. So what about that story would be interesting to you, though?
Yeah.
And then you just let people tell you, and then you start building your story based
on that. And this is kind of a business one-on-one tip. You let your customer tell you what they want, and then you give it to them. It's just business. And so I think one of the biggest things that we need to do, and we're going to be releasing a second book soon, Indie Filmmaker, From Passion to Profit. And this is a big thing in there, is you have to treat this like business and not just like passion. You need to be passionate about the business of making films. And how do you do that? The customer first. And in our case, because we make films, the audience first.
Everything else second.
Everything else is second. And so go into these forums that you're already in. You're already in them. Go in there, talk to the people, make your movie based off of what you know, and you will be successful. I promise you.
And I understand as a director, your mindset is, this is my vision, and it has to be my vision in the way I see it. And you're right, it is your vision, but it's their entertainment.
Yep.
And it's also their dollars.
Yep.
So make the movie, make it your vision, but make it something that will appeal to the masses.
A wise man once told me, well, he didn't tell me directly, shout out to Myron Golden, that people are going to pay you in one of two ways. Well, they might pay you in both ways. They're going to either pay you with their attention or they're going to pay you with their money. And so when you start distributing, again, as we're going to talk about on another video, the audience might not be paying you by buying your movie, but they're definitely going to be paying you with their attention because of how payouts and things can work. So again, your audience, so important. Go and find your audience today. Stop waiting. Stop wasting time. Go find the audience now.
And never forsake your audience. Don't forget to talk to them, engage with them. Always give them the time of day, because one, they're going to tell you what they liked and didn't like. They're going to help you enhance for your next project. They're going to tell you what they're looking for. So even if you're trying to figure out, well, what do we do next? Trust me, your audience is going to let you know.
That's right.
So always be listening and keeping your ear to the ground to your audience. Our film, when we did Black Wall Street Burning, we put it out. We listened to the audience. When we did the director's cut, we added in the things that our audience was telling us. If y'all would have did this, if y'all would have did that, it would set the movie over the top. So always be listening to your audiences, because they're going to make you a better filmmaker to appeal to a bigger audience.
Yep. So always consult with your customer, which again is your audience, and use them as a springboard all the time. Everything that you're going to write. And you don't have to just lock into one solid audience. You can make a movie about aliens one day. You can make a movie about wrestling or this, or gaming. I mean, there's so many things that you can make movies about. It just needs to be surrounded by what you're passionate about, so that you can appeal to the people in the proper way. Because you can kind of tell always when somebody's not a part of a community for real, and they're making a movie to try to appeal to that community, but they don't really know because they're not really in that space.
Dragon Ball Evolution. See how that hits you?
The M. Night Shyamalan.
It made me want to just go watch the anime to cleanse what I had just watched.
So again, we're all filmmakers, but at the end of the day, we want to make money doing this thing, and your audience is going to help you do that. So now we're at the point where we spin the wheel.
Let's spin it.
So that's what you get with $5,000. All the stuff is linked down below. We do get a small commission if you purchase through our links below. We greatly appreciate that. Again, the timeline, the 4-month feature timeline is down there for free. You can purchase the book that goes along with it. It's a guide to the timeline. We're here to help you make films faster. That's our goal. And so, again, we appreciate y'all spending y'all time with us today. Listen to what we have to say about audience. So, I guess this is it.
Yep. Just remember what we said. Like and subscribe to this video and this channel, and make sure you're putting comments down there so we know what you guys are looking for and questions that you may have, so we can go ahead and answer them, because we're not just giving this information out for ourselves. We're doing it for y'all. So we want to know where you guys are lacking and what you want to know.
All right. So we out of here. Go make films faster.
Peace.